Imagine stepping outside tonight. You look up at the sky, expecting to see the familiar moon. But something is different. There are two. One is the moon we know, and beside it hangs another enormous world, glowing in the darkness. At first, humanity would probably celebrate. Scientists would rush to study it, people would photograph it. Children would grow up believing that two moons were completely normal. But here's the terrifying question. What would two moons actually do to Earth? Would our nights become twice as beautiful? Or would the oceans, climate, and even human civilization be thrown into chaos?
For this thought experiment, let's imagine something extraordinary. A second moon, roughly similar in size to our current moon, somehow enters Earth's orbit. It doesn't crash into Earth. Instead, Earth's gravity captures it, and over time, it settles into a stable orbit. At first, the changes might seem harmless. The second moon would travel across the sky, following its own orbital path. Sometimes the two moons might appear close together. Other times, they could be on opposite sides of the sky. And occasionally, they could appear almost perfectly aligned. That would create spectacular lunar events, unlike anything humans have ever witnessed. But the real consequences wouldn't begin in the sky. They would begin in the oceans.
Our moon already controls a huge part of Earth's tides. Its gravity pulls on Earth's oceans, creating the rhythmic rise and fall of sea levels. Now imagine adding another massive object. The two gravitational forces would interact. When both moons pulled on the oceans from favorable positions, tides could become dramatically stronger. Coastal regions could experience much larger differences between high and low tide. Some beaches could disappear beneath water during extreme tides, only to reappear hours later. But there's an even stranger possibility. The two moons wouldn't always line up the same way. Their positions would constantly change, meaning Earth's tides could become far more complicated and unpredictable. For coastal civilizations, this wouldn't just be beautiful, it could be dangerous.
But not everything would be terrifying. Our nights would become unbelievably beautiful. With two moons overhead, darkness would rarely feel completely dark. Depending on their phases, the night could be illuminated by one moon, both moons, or almost nothing. Imagine standing in a desert while two full moons cast overlapping shadows across the sand, or watching two lunar eclipses happen within the same year, or seeing one moon rise while the other sets. Human culture would change too. Ancient civilizations would probably create completely different calendars. Religions would develop new lunar gods. Stories, myths, festivals, and even language could evolve around the existence of two celestial companions. Humanity wouldn't simply live under two moons. We would build our entire civilization around them.
Then comes a much bigger problem: Earth's rotation and climate. Our moon doesn't just control tides. Over enormous periods of time, the moon influences Earth's rotation. It acts like a gravitational brake, slowly changing how quickly Earth spins. Adding another moon could alter this relationship. Depending on its mass, distance, and orbit, the second moon could make Earth's rotational system more complicated. That could influence long-term climate patterns. And if the second moon's orbit became unstable, Earth could experience even more dramatic consequences. The seasons could change over extremely long timescales. Ocean circulation could be affected, and some coastal ecosystems would face completely new conditions. The planet might still be habitable, but it would be a very different Earth.
But here's where our imaginary scenario gets really interesting. The second moon wouldn't necessarily stay where we expect.
Two moons orbiting the same planet would constantly interact gravitationally. Their orbits could tug on each other, and over millions of years, tiny changes could accumulate. One moon could slowly move farther away. The other could shift closer. Eventually, the system might become unstable. And if the second moon came too close to Earth, we could have a disaster. Its gravitational influence could become enormous. Tides could rise dramatically. Earthquakes and geological activity could potentially increase. And in the worst-case scenario, the second moon could approach the Roche limit. At that distance, Earth's gravity could tear the moon apart. Instead of one beautiful second moon, Earth could suddenly have a gigantic ring of debris.
And there's another possibility. The two moons could eventually collide. It sounds almost impossible, but in a complicated gravitational system, orbital instability can produce extraordinary outcomes over millions or billions of years. If their paths crossed at the wrong moment, two enormous worlds could slam into each other at incredible speed. The collision would release unimaginable energy. Fragments of both moons could scatter around Earth. Some debris might fall into the atmosphere. Some could escape into space. And some could eventually form rings or even smaller moons. Earth might survive, but the night sky would never be the same again. But let's step back from the disasters. If the second moon somehow remained stable, humanity could adapt. New calendars would be created. New navigation systems would develop. Entire cultures could worship different lunar cycles. Scientists would have a second natural laboratory in the sky. And future humans might look at our single moon universe the way we look at ancient civilizations. Strange, primitive, incomplete. Perhaps children on this alternate Earth would ask a completely different question. Why does Earth only have two moons? And their parents might laugh, because to them, two moons would be normal.
Our universe feels stable because we experience it every day. The moon rises, the oceans move, the seasons change, and Earth keeps spinning. But change even one piece of that cosmic system, and our entire world could become something completely different. Maybe two moons would make Earth more beautiful, maybe more dangerous. Or maybe, given enough time, one moon would eventually disappear. Because in space, nothing stays exactly the same forever. So tonight, when you look at the moon, remember this. We aren't just looking at something beautiful in the sky. We're looking at one of the gravitational forces that help shape the world beneath our feet. And if Earth had two moons, the question wouldn't simply be, would it look amazing? It would be, could Earth remain the same?